This week is actually, thankfully, a much happier week in terms of news, filled with new releases, updates, and hints at Lost Ark's Western release, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are eagerly anticipating. Yeah, we have a pretty good week, so stay tuned. Before we go ahead and jump into this video though, like every other news week, I'm going to be giving away a free copy of any MMORPG or any MMORPG expansion you guys want. You get to choose Final Fantasy XIV, World of Warcraft, The Elder Scrolls Online, Black Desert, Destiny 2. All you need to do is be actively subscribed to this channel, and yeah, I can tell if you are or not. These giveaways specifically are targeted at our active subscribers, so make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Then go ahead and go down into the comment section below and leave a comment stating what you think is going to be the biggest MMORPG release of this year, 2021. Leave your reasoning as to why, and I will go ahead and choose the best answer. That's it. The winner of the last giveaway is actually Bronya Knight, partly because I mean I love your name, and partly because I've never had anyone request Final Fantasy XI. So go ahead and DM me on Twitter or on Discord, and I will go ahead and send you your game. Also, did you know that we stream on Twitch every single week? Yeah, every Tuesday, every Saturday, and every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mrs. Sticks is actually going to be doing a huge stream just a few hours from now. You guys are going to absolutely love it. So I urge you to come on over to our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/MMOBite and join her. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right into this week's weekly bite of MMORPG news. Let's start this off by talking about one of the most important announcements this month: Tower of Fantasy's upcoming closed beta test. I did a dedicated video concerning this, but I have a full guide on how to pre-register for one of 2021's hottest upcoming anime MMORPGs closed beta tests. So if you haven't already, I urge you to go ahead right this very moment, click that link in the description or the pinned comment to be taken directly to our website and pre-register for the closed beta now. This beta takes place just next week, so you are going to want to make sure you do not miss out. This game looks like what Genshin Impact could have been if it were an MMO. Next, let's talk about another of 2021's most anticipated MMORPGs, Elyon. Elyon launched in South Korea back in December, and both Mrs. Sticks and I had the opportunity to play through it thanks to the developers reaching out to us with official South Korean accounts. We both had a lot of fun, and we're kind of excited to play the game when it officially launches over in North America and Europe later this year. While the game was revealed to be launching sometime in the middle of 2021, it came as a surprise to us to learn that they had updated their website in anticipation of this launch. The website reads, "We're currently preparing for the first closed beta test, which will give you all the chance to get your hands on the game for the very first time. This will happen in the next few months, and we'll be announcing the exact dates very soon." While not incredible by really any stretch of the imagination, this will still be a very fun game to waste some time in later towards what will likely be the third or fourth quarter of 2021. I've pretty much never covered Gloriavictus. It's an MMO that just really never gained much traction, unfortunately, for both the developers and the players that are currently actively playing the game. Nevertheless, it is worth noting that over the course of the last few months, the devs behind the game have been perfecting their new upgraded engine client, which is much more stable, providing players a higher overall FPS. This is important in PvP and in larger scale encounters, something that Gloriavictus definitely does right. While I've never really played much of the game, I definitely should. This is, after all, one of the few indie MMOs that actually released and continues to be actively developed. Dreamworld, one of 2021's newest scams. I mean, indie developed MMOs just finished their first round of funding via Kickstarter. They went in asking for just $10,000 to fund their game and ended up obtaining over $65,000. Since they met their Kickstarter goal, the money is going to be sent directly to them, and regardless of whether players get what they paid for, the devs now have what they wanted, both money and exposure. Not that they needed the money, as they claimed that they'd received all of the funding that they needed outside of the platform, and the only reason they opened a Kickstarter was so they could gain additional exposure. Personally, they could have done just as well by asking a few different MMO tubers to cover the game, posting on Reddit, or purchasing some advertising space on websites or social media platforms, but this way players are paying to advertise their game for them. It's genius. They get money, all the while players begin hyping their own game, bringing in more potential money. It is crazy. It baffles me, but it works. Now, this is an MMO that is supposedly going to be an infinite open world MMO that houses millions of players in a single world that happens to consist of thousands of unique biomes. Not just that, but oh boy, but they are going, apparently here, into open alpha testing in just a few months. Yeah, you guys thought that Ashes of Creation being in development since 2016 and only reaching alpha testing in 2021, 5 years after beginning development, was good for an indie dev? Well, look at these guys right here. After less than a year, they're going to have a fully functional MMO for players to play, making Ashes of Creation, Pantheon, Crowfall, and literally every other indie developer look like kids playing with crayons. And if you couldn't guess, yes, I am not being serious here. Having a playable game after just several months is unreal. It's unfathomable. If this is anything more than a scam, I am genuinely going to be very impressed. Typically, I do tend to avoid discussing mobile MMOs on the channel or in news videos because they're just not really worth covering. But every now and then, like in the case of Black Desert Mobile or Dragon Raja, I do feel obligated to cover a mobile title. We discuss all MMOs here, guys, after all. We're not PC MMO Bite, despite some people that would be happier if we only discussed PC titles. Now, in this case, Noah's Heart is a brand new upcoming steampunk mobile MMORPG announced over 6 months ago with a small trailer. This is being developed by Archosaur Games, the very same people that brought us the PC MMORPGs Jade Dynasty and Swordsman Online and Dragon Raja for mobile. So we do have a decent track record thus far. The reason we're here today discussing this is because they've made note that the game is going to be entering closed beta testing with pre-registration opening on June 27th, with the first test specifically taking place in July 2021. This is actually a pretty good looking title for a mobile game, and honestly, I will be keeping an eye on it. If you want to pre-register for the game, we will have a guide up on our website the closer we get to the pre-registration date, so make sure you bookmark our website at mmobite.tv if you have not already. Rift is turning 10. That alone is cause for celebration. When I played Rift about 8 months ago, the game had almost no visible semblance of a population, which stands to reason. Gamigo publishes this game after all, and we all know that Gamigo is known as the MMO graveyard. So it's turning 10, you'd expect something big to celebrate, right? Well, no. What we get are basic events that players have already done time and time again. However, now they get to do it with the knowledge that the end for Rift is coming closer and closer month after month. Gamigo have removed staff members that were keeping Rift maintained recently, with the skeleton crew being responsible for the game going forward. This means that the game is on life support, and with the shutting down of 5 of their MMOs within the last month alone, it is a safe bet to say that Rift's demise is coming, and it is coming soon. Genshin Impact and MiHoYo are having their fair share of issues recently with all the drama concerning diversity, whitewashing, security issues. I think there's actually more hate going around right now pertaining to this game than there is anything else. But regardless of all that drama, we get some pretty good news for PlayStation 5 owners. Genshin Impact is coming to PS5 soon. It's uncertain when specifically. I mean, heck, we're still waiting on the Switch version of the game, but according to MiHoYo, it'll be soon. Yeah, we're also receiving the latest update in the very near future as well, providing more AFK opportunities for players that need new content to AFK towards, which also means more characters to spend money trying to get as well. So, yay! Ion 7.9 is right around the corner. According to Gameforge, the EU incarnation of Ion is going to be receiving the latest 7.9 update in the very near future, bringing with it a return to the Battle of Pangaea, the seasonal event where players must fight for their legion. There's also a new Labyrinth instance for players to tackle level 80, and a couple other things for players to look forward to if you're in the mood. The North American version of the game will likely be receiving the update a few weeks after the EU version. Admittedly, I'm actually going to be recording some Ion EU in the very near future myself, so this might align with my goals to get some gameplay in soon. Are you a fan of Chinese-inspired MMORPGs? Because with the shutdown of Swordsman Online last year, there are only like 2 to 3 of them left currently playable over here in the West. We've all been eagerly anticipating Moonlight Blade for, what, like 5 years now? But Nexon is never going to release that game. You guys know it, and so do I. However, do not let that get you down. Gameforge, who is definitely a better publisher than Nexon, announced Swords of Legends Online was coming in just a few months. This is a Chinese-inspired MMO that not only looks better than Moonlight Blade, but it plays better as well, being released years after the aforementioned title. It also employs toys and action combat system for players that are interested in a non-tap target MMO for a change. This MMO is going into closed beta testing in the near future, and if we're lucky, I might have some beta keys to give away. All you guys need to do is let me know if you want one in the comment section below, and make sure to frequent our website over at mmobite.tv for the opportunity to win some via either means. This is a beautiful looking MMO, and I cannot wait and I cannot believe that we're going to be able to play it in just a few mere months. Who here has been awaiting Blade & Soul's Unreal Engine 4 update? Because boy, do I have news for you. Not only do we have a window to look out for, specifically the third quarter of 2021, but we also have an official title for the large update and some of what's going to bring with it. The update, specifically titled Revival, features the brand new Unreal Engine 4 overhaul. This is something players have been waiting for over a year now. Next, they have plans on, in their words, reimagining dungeons by refocusing on player-centered combat in dungeons so that individual players and plays feel important again. They also have plans on reimagining dungeon difficulty, going on to claim that they want to make dungeons seem less repetitive and more exciting. I'm unsure of what they really plan on doing with that, but they assured us that we would have more info regarding that soon. Then comes one of the most bizarre and ultimately game-changing changes they could have thought up. Something like Final Fantasy XIV's class system, allowing for players to swap what class they actively play as. What this means is that you're never stuck with a single class. Rather, if you play something like a Forest Master and then you want to swap to a Summoner or a Warlock, it's as simple as just exchanging all of your gear for the gear appropriate to your new class. I'm guessing there will be limitations imposed on this, or rather a certain cost to get it done, but this is an interesting new feature to include. Then there are UI changes and the continuation to Act 11, Part 2, as we're taken into the Divine Realm. Yes, WoW Classic's beta test is currently underway. I've covered that in the past, but what we've been waiting to hear is news pertaining to patch 9.1, as it's kind of just been in limbo for a while now. The silver lining here is that at the very least, we have an official release date for the testing phase of 9.1 on the PTR, April 12th. So if players anticipating getting new content soon, you're likely still a month or more off having anything to do really. But you know what? They have their hands full with both patch 9.1 and the Burning Crusade's beta test, so I could give them a little bit of slack here. Speaking of WoW, I have a dedicated video on the MMO coming just next week for those of you that are interested in potentially investing time and money into it. And for those of you that actively play it, I would love to get your feedback on the video. Yes, Final Fantasy XIV is preparing its final large patch of Shadowbringers, patch 5.5, and in anticipation of this update going live on April 13th, they went ahead and updated their website accordingly with images of new gear, more story, the final near raid, and more. Mrs. Styx is excited for this as she has been keeping up to date with the Savage tiers, having completed every Savage tier and working through the final fight from 12 later this evening. Naturally, a trailer was released to accompany the patch announcement, and it's got people everywhere excited. Speaking of Final Fantasy XIV, did you know that Mrs. Styx and I are streaming leveling as reverse roles over on Twitch? Yeah, she's playing tank and I am playing healer, and we're trying to complete the game ahead of Endwalker's release later this year. We both play the game at endgame on our main roles, so this is kind of fun to do to pass some time. Amazon recently revealed that they were opening a brand new studio in Montreal. They went on to state that the studio's first project will be an online multiplayer title based on a brand new IP, potentially referring to Lost Ark, which could mean that their new studio in Montreal is dedicated to working on Lost Ark. Is this a confirmation we were waiting for? Maybe. What's more interesting is the fact that they released a statement concerning New World and several other unannounced projects currently in development, releasing in or by August 2021. Does that mean that Lost Ark could potentially have a third quarter 2021 release date? Man, so much speculation. And that is it. That is all of the MMO related news that has been brought to my attention over the course of the last 2 weeks. If you think there's anything I missed, go down into the comment section below and let me know. You can message me via Discord or Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, or really anywhere for that matter that you can reach me. Make sure you include a link to the article, and if applicable, I will go ahead and include that either in a dedicated video or in the follow-up news video 2 weeks from today. Anyway guys, that is it for me. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys next time.
Someday soon, I'm gonna make it. Yeah. All hard work's gonna be worth it.